It's Imbibitor's first rerun, so we've just entered 2.0, and since his first banner back in 1.3, a lot has changed. He has a lot more options when it comes to building him now. This guide will discuss his best Lightcones, Relics, Teamcomps, and Eidolons, all updated for the latest 2.0 version. So for his Lightcones, his signature is still his best by a decent amount, and a strong free-to-play option is still the Herda Lightcone, but now we have two more options, Flames of Far and Misha's Lightcone. Both of these are terrible. Imbibitor can't use these well, he doesn't consume HP, and he doesn't utilize Break Effect. Although the crit rate from Misha's Lightcone, especially at S5, can be useful, it's 30% crit rate after he ults, lasting for 2 turns. But overall, just use the Herda Shop Lightcone if you don't have a signature. Now, Imbibitor's Relics updated for 2.0 are a bit different. So the Banditry set is still his best in slot, but the new Pioneer set is actually pretty decent, and is very close to performance compared to the Imaginary set. But besides that, any 2-piece combination of Banditry, Pioneer, and Musketeer all performs decently well. Just keep in mind that the Pioneer set does require debuffs to be applied on the enemy, otherwise it will be completely useless. For his Planar Ornament sets, Rudolent Arena will be the best, then Glamoth is a close second with at least 135 speed, and as a last resort, you can use Space Sealing Station. Then Imbibitor's Mainstats and Substats are your standard DPS, for the body crit rate or crit damage, for the boots either speed or attack percent. Attack percent is way better for damage, but getting a minimum 134 speed through substats and teammates may be difficult. Then imaginary damage on the orb and attack percent for the rope. Then the substats Imbibitor wants is speed first, then crit as much as possible, and then attack percent rolls can be useful. So during his first banner, Imbibitor didn't have many teammates that helped him with skill point issues, but now there are a couple options that help him a lot. Firstly, Imbibitor should be played in hyper carry. His kit focuses on straight fat damage, and he's very skill point hungry, so dual DPS with him is a little rough. The best Imbibitor hypercarry team is Imbibitor, Ruan-Mei, Tingyun, and Luocha, so there is some flexibility to this team. Firstly, Luocha is best because of his skill point positivity. Other sustainers like Quoho or Bailu are not that great because they need to skill. Fushuan is okay if you can manage the skill points. Replacements for Ruan-Mei can be Yukong, who's way stronger at E6, Silverwolf, Pela, or even Bronya. So we now have some options when it comes to skill point recovery. Hanya and Sparkle can both provide enough value to the point where playing Imbibitor with Bronya can be a viable option. Of course, when Sparkle comes out next banner, she will be incredibly strong, but for now, Hanya is very good as she provides skill point recovery, speed, and attack buffs. So a possible other hypercarry team could be Imbibitor, Bronya, Hanya, and a sustainer, probably Luocha. Although you might need Bronya's signature Lightcone for this comp. So since it's Imbibitor's rerun, some people might be pulling for his Eidolons, so let's talk about him. E1 increases Righteous Heart stacks, meaning it pretty much increases his damage by 10% per attack. So this Eidolon allows him to gain 40% more damage if you can get all stacks. Pretty decent. E2 is by far the strongest one. When he ults, he advances himself by 100% and gains an extra Squama stack. So essentially, he can attack for 3 skill points, then ult, and do the same attack for free. It's pretty much the ultimate zero cycle Eidolon. It's the perfect stopping point for people pulling his Eidolons. E4 is nothing crazy. When he uses his skill, he can gain crit damage based on how many times he enhances his basic attack. This Eidolon just allows him to keep the stacks for his next turn instead of his current turn. It's pretty bad for an E4. Then his E6. Okay, so I swear this guy is the strongest Eidolons. When an ally ults, Imbibitor gains 20% imaginary resistance penetration when he uses his strongest enhanced basic. But it also stacks. It can get up to 60%. To put into perspective, Ruan-Mei's ult only gives 25% max, not even half. Either way, coordinating 3 ults before Imbibitor's skills is kind of difficult, so it's best to just stop at E2. Wow, 2.0 is going to be pretty insane for Imbibitor users. I'm glad he has more teammate options. I mean, Hanya is strong, but man, Sparkle is going to change him. Can't wait for her banner.